Greetings, Internet. My name is Chris, and this is City of Ash Veteran Mode and how to defeat it. We skipped the beginning here because the beginning is, well, it's nothing you need a guide for, honestly. So this is the first boss. This boss is called Rukan. And see, I accidentally actually pulled it right there. I wasn't supposed to pull it. I was just trying to show my group who to kill. There's a kill order on the first boss. You want to kill Akazel first. He's the mage slash healer. And the reason why you want to kill him is basically just because he heals people. Then you have the next one you need to kill. That's the archer. Well, you don't need to kill him, but it helps. And that's the archer. He's called Marus. And then you go for the actual boss, who's called Rukan. During the fight, these Atronachs are gonna pop out of the portal, and I think they actually increase in how quick they actually come out. There are a few things to be aware of, and those are basically just the Atronachs circle they will put on the ground, as well as the archers cross pattern fire lines, or whatever they're called. Rukan will pull in a random DPS or healer or tank. I mean, just a random group member with his chain, and then do an explosion. This explosion will knock you on your ass, and you can't block it or anything. You see, he's doing it right here. Turned away from him. But yeah, he pulls someone in, and then explodes. That's the explosion. And if you get hit, you'll take a lot of damage, you'll get knocked on your ass. So just dodge roll out of it if you get pulled in. In the background is actually the Call of Magic theme. I've used it in other videos, but this is actually a version I've recorded of myself playing it. I mean, it's not very good compared to the previous version I used. But this means that I actually have copyright to this version. Or not copyright, but you know, I have the rights to this version since it's my own. Rather than using someone else's version and then putting it in reverse, as I've done in the past. So yeah. Basically, it's pretty straightforward fight as soon as you kill the two ads. This is definitely the easiest fight of the dungeon. But you can see we've yet to even set foot in the Knives of Discord, as the place is called. This is where the entire dungeon will take place. That was basically just a prelude. Alright, so we're gonna move down here. This will be the only in-between fights I'll show you. Other than that, I'll just show you the bosses. Yeah. You have two enemies you need to sort of keep in mind, and those are the Archer and the Immolator. I think the Archer is called something else. No, the Immolator and the Ravager. The Immolator is the Archer. He'll do similar to Marus that you just fought, a X pattern flame line. The other guy will do similar to Rukan, where he will, I don't know if he'll pull someone in, but he'll explode, which you want to get out of as well. Other than that, it's just basic Daedrus and Dremora. Don't forget to use Evil Hunter in here. I don't know if my party members in this group are actually using it. So this is the second boss, but you see as soon as you hit her, she's gonna teleport away, and then you get the first group. Then you kill the first group, you'll hit her again, she'll teleport away, you kill the second group, and then when you hit her again, you're gonna start the actual boss fight. Again, I mean, just focus them down with AoE or single target, it doesn't really matter. You just want to kill stuff, and there's not like one specific enemy you have to kill, but it helps to kill the Immolators because they use those flame lines. So see, you hit her again, this is the second group, two of those big guys are gonna fall down from the sky. Or is it just one? I think it's two. You also have these green skeletons that explode. Oh, something to be aware of is to my very right, to the right of the screen, is the actual boss. So make sure you don't hit her, as my DPS is doing right here, because that will trigger the actual boss fight. This is Rata the Legion. It's a very simple mechanic. She'll spawn these ads that if you don't kill them fast enough, they will heal the boss. I think it's 20% each. So like you can get her down to 20%, and then if you neglect the ads, she'll heal right back up to 80, just from like just from like 4 of them. I've had that happen. Not even kidding. It sucks. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Just avoid the fire. If you have a sorcerer with you, I know I'm a sorcerer, but I'm actually using Storm Atronach in this run here. But if you have a sorcerer with you, they can use Absorption Field and just place it on top of the boss, and then everyone can stack on the boss, and that will just eat up all the fire. Other than that, it's a pretty straightforward fight. The reason why most people wipe on this is because they either stand in a fire or they aggro along with the ads of the previous group, which we did as well. Actually, I forgot to mention, but this is actually a no-death run, which is pretty amazing because of one fact. I'm the only person in here, I'm the tank, I'm the only person in here who has actually done this when we do it at this point here. So along the entire run, I'm telling my group how to kill stuff, how to do the specific tactics and so on. And like, they just performed brilliant. I mean, it was excellent. We had no deaths, which is really difficult to get in here. I've run multiple times with really good groups, but yeah, been unable to get it until I ran with these guys here. And I think at this point our healer is vet 12, vet 13 maybe. So, I mean, it's not impossible, but it is quite a long run, this. It's not a speed run. I don't think we have a damage for that in this group. So yeah, I think it took us like an hour to beat this with the no death. But I think that's preferable if you get that achievement, because it's very difficult to get. It's basically the point I'm making. Anyway, you can see that fight took quite a while. Some of the fights do take a while in here. I mean, it all depends on the DPS you have in the group. But okay, we're coming up to the third boss. This boss is usually where you have people dying. This is Horventud the Fire Maw, as you will see on your screen in a second here. He has some interesting and very annoying mechanics. First off, he's gonna have these NPCs assisting him. And then he's gonna do this. This is the killer. This is the ground pound. It will spawn a circle on your position, and then that circle will explode after a short while. So make sure you move around. Make sure you don't follow each other. Don't stack. It's basically what I'm telling these guys constantly. Don't stack. Don't stack. Because that's how you usually die. If you get 2 circles on you, the damage over time they do will kill you both. And you can see ads coming down in the background. Basically, the ads sort of spawn in this circular pattern, because if you look around, there's these what do you call them? I don't know, like platforms where they're watching. You see, I almost died just then. But these platforms where they jump down from. There's only a limited amount of ads, which help. I mean, it helps a lot, because once you kill the ads, it's actually really simplified. Oh yeah, the boss also does this 180-degree attack, which sends out these tremors, I guess they're called. See that one? You want to make sure you face him away from your group, like so. They're always facing his back, because they hit for quite a lot, especially when he's on fire. You can see here, it's basically just a matter of killing the ads, and then focusing on the boss. You see, actually my group has a pretty decent damage here. So you can see we even get the boss down to 40% while killing all of the ads. Once you get the boss down to 30%, he will actually go into this sort of enrage mode where he will do more damage, and he will get like a temporary shield on him. We will see that in a second here as soon as we kill the final ads. I think those are the final ads in the background, or maybe not. I spoke too soon. Damn it. I think for this one fight I switched to negate, because it helps a lot with these big groups here. First time I ran it, I think we had 2 negates, which was a definite help. Alright, he's down to... These are definitely the final ads. But yeah, you can see he's down to 36%. When you're tanking, also make sure you don't just eat the fire, as I do. It's not a good idea, because the healer will have to heal a lot on this one. Basically, just make sure you can make the healer's job as easy as possible by not standing and stuff. Alright, you can see he's going into enrage mode here. That's his shield. You kill the shield and then you just kill him. See, his AoE is a little bit bigger. The tremors do more damage. His attacks do more damage. And of course the ground pound does more damage. This is a fight similar to Crypt of Hearts, where you don't ever want to stand still. Because once you get in the habit of standing still, you're gonna get killed. And that's the kill. You can see we made it to this point already without any deaths. And this is where sort of, at this point my heart starts going, oh, this is quite interesting, I should pound a little bit faster. So yeah, it got quite tense towards the end, because it's like, you really want that freaking achievement because it's hard to get. Anyway, this is the 4th boss. This is Ash Titan, or Ass Titan as I tend to call him, because of the weird noises they make. It's basically this NPC in the background that keeps making this weird moaning. It's quite strange. Anyway, this is the first mechanic. It's the flame walls. Don't get hit by these because they're gonna stun you and do a lot of damage. You can see while I'm tanking, I'm actually dodge rolling every single one of his firebolts, because as soon as it hits you, it's gonna drop a circle on the ground, an AoE. This is the fire rain phase. It's quite simple, just avoid the big circles, because the big circles are the ones that do a lot of damage. And so here I got hit, so it spawned fire. And then it's just a repeat of these 3 things until you get him to 55%, I think it is. Yeah, 55. I can barely see it here. And he'll spawn the first ad. He'll only spawn 2, but the first one is at... no, it's at 65. Yeah, it was 65. Sorry about that. I can barely see it on my screen here. But yeah, he'll spawn these 2 ads. There's 2 ways to do it. You can either kill the ads when they stop spinning, because they're invulnerable once they're spinning. Or the tank can just pull them along away from the group, and then the DPSs just hit the boss only. You can see, also something that's important here is how you divide the actual battlefield. You have a lot of room to maneuver in, which is nice, but you want to make sure that the tank is opposite of the group. And see, now he's going over to the next one. While he's moving in between those and spawning them, you can't actually do any damage to him, so don't waste your attacks on him. See, that's the second one. I just keep dodge rolling as much as I can. When I have 2 on me, it gets quite tense because one attack from these guys will do, I think, 2k damage. So it gets a little bit hectic towards the end. This is definitely where most people get their first wipe, if not their second or third or fourth, however many. Like, I've never done this fight on the first try with someone and not have at least 1 death. The first time I was in here, we wiped, I think, 8 times on this guy, because it took us a while to figure out what we had to do. But that's the kill right there. As soon as the boss is down, the ads die as well. But that's definitely the toughest fight of the entire dungeon, for sure. Alright, so next up here, once this passes over, is a weird kind of boss fight. Basically, you kill these 3 guys that are charging this, I don't know what you call this sort of conduit in the middle. And as soon as you kill them, you initiate this sort of wave sequence that leads up to a boss fight. The first wave is kind of simple. You can see we pull back here, so all the ranged enemies will come closer to us. This helps a lot with grouping them up and just hitting them with AoE and everything. Like, you get the maximum effect out of your ultimates if you do this. But yeah, this is the first wave. As soon as we kill this, the second one will trigger. And then we just do the same and pull back again. Oh, sorry about that. And pull back again. And then kill these guys, do the same, then we get the third wave. And then after the third wave, you get the boss fight. You can see, now we have these bigger guys. And of course, make sure you avoid the red stuff from these guys, because it hits. It hits a little bit hard. See, I'm having some trouble with my taunting here. Something I've noticed is that in certain situations, like Dragonstar Arena or some trials, where it's like heavy amount of I don't know, power going into calculating all the stuff, all the effects and such, like taunting becomes very unreliable. Like, you have to hit some enemy with a taunt twice to be completely sure that it actually sticks, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, this is the third wave, and as soon as this guy is dead, we'll trigger the boss fight. Now you have to do this twice, left and right side. This is the left side. I won't show you the right because they're pretty much the same. This is the Voltaic. This guy is melee. You as a tank want to take aggro of the Storm Atronachs. You don't need to kill these because they'll just keep spawning. But like, I take aggro of the boss and the Atronachs that spawn, and the DPS is just focused on the boss. One thing I have to mention here is that if you die during this, it'll reset during any of the waves, even the boss fight, which is very annoying because it's, I mean, it just feels like wasted time. But yeah, just avoid the attacks, interrupt the attacks you can interrupt, and so on. This is a somewhat easy fight because the mechanics are pretty simple. These aren't really actual bosses, they're more like mini bosses with bosses' health. Well, with the health of bosses, I mean. As soon as you kill them, they all die. Pretty simple. On the right side, it's pretty much the same, although the Voltaic is switched out for a Fulminator, who's just a ranged boss with lightning attacks. This is the final fight. This is Valkynscoria. First off, this is the first mechanic you're gonna get introduced to. And that's the meteor shot or whatever. If you get hit by that, you're gonna get punched back and it does a lot of damage. Usually when we start off this fight, I'll tell my group to hold block, because if you get hit immediately, you're gonna get punched out. Behind me is the fire lines. He'll drop those out, they'll put a dot on you. This is the reason why I'm staying away from a group, but there's also another reason for that I'll get to in a second here. Pretty much just put them down. You'll see him holding his hand. It's quite an easy tell. And then just walk opposite on the platform. It's very important you stay on the platforms here, because if you're outside, you're you're gonna get hit by these fires that come up from the lava. After he destroys a platform, he's gonna teleport to a new one, and then you want to kill his shield, because if you don't kill his shield, he's just gonna keep spawning Atronachs. And then usually you want to kill the Atronachs. It depends on what strategy you're doing. Sometimes if you have really good DPS, you can just hit the boss and just don't even bother with the Atronachs. But yeah, the thing is, he's gonna destroy all these platforms, and you only have 5 of them, which essentially makes this a DPS race. Even though you don't die at the end, it does mean that you have to run around without the platforms, and the platforms are the thing that keeps you safe, because as soon as you stand outside of the on the rocks or whatever, you're gonna get killed. And see, I lost aggro for a second here, and he put the fire so that it can actually hit my group, which is what you don't want. So he teleports to the middle. This makes it easier because he's easier to kill when he's close, I guess, since they can drop all their ultimates on him. Kill the shield, grab him again, and then hop away. The thing we were doing the first time around this was that all of us would stay on the same platform, but it's a really bad idea because you're gonna get hit by all the attacks, and as soon as the platform explodes, you all have to move to a new one, which is quite bother. You can see he holds down his hand, and then he spawns the fire. That's the teleport, just in case you didn't notice it. If you're a tank in this one here, you want to make sure that you call out every time he does the meteor shot. Something he'll also do when he does a heavy attack, it's gonna spawn a meteor on a random party member. You can just block that. It doesn't do that much damage, but it still does damage though. And then it's just rinse repeat. The hard mode for this removes 2 of the platforms, which makes it even more of a DPS race. So, but you can see here we're getting him about 20% every single platform. If you're doing the hard mode, you want to get them down 30 to 35% every platform, because you have only 3, where here we have 5. It's basically math. Math. Yeah. Math, yeah, it's so useful. Even if you hate it. Oh well. But you see, now I start shitting myself a little bit in this fight, because it's like, oh, he's not down to 25% yet, and he's about to destroy this second to last platform. And right now I'm like, oh shit, we're gonna have a death now, I'm sure. And it's like, oh no, I really wanted that achievement, oh well. But yeah, we actually managed to get it. I just tell my group to ignore the Atronachs. I taunt them, just to keep the damage off of them. And we just hammer him, I mean, executes, what have you. Because right now, it's essentially life or death for this group here, because as soon as he destroys this platform, we'll have to scatter, which makes it really difficult for the healer to keep up. You can see we're just laying into him. He has 5%, 4%, 3%, 2%, 1%, and goodbye. And he's dead. And then you get your achievement if you have no death, which fortunately we did. But yeah, then you have this chest here. That's how you loot him. He won't actually leave a corpse behind. I hope you get the what's it called? The Valkyrie Scoria helmet, because that's really cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.